DOT violator coming at you. Hot off the press. Emergency fucking breaking news. Kletus Ray's roadside service. We got a roadside inspection, fellas. We got a roadside inspection. Did I pass it? Nope. No, I didn't. And it's all my fault. Obviously, it's my fault. If anything is wrong, it's my fault. But this one is actually my fault. This one is for real my fault. So I got placards on all four corners of my trailer here. It's a tanker trailer. I'm hauling selenium water, which is a class 9 hazard. Unfortunately, me, just being me, made the mistake of putting class 8 hazard placards up instead of class 9. Corrosive placards instead of this class 9 hazard. Just like it's like dangerous for fish or some shit. I don't know. I'm not the greatest Haz driver there is. And yeah, it was such a dumb, simple mistake, and I'm very upset that I made that mistake. Anyways, yeah, I was going to get to my offload place right at the correct time. I was even going to have a little bit of time that I was going to be able to stop off at a truck stop and grab some food to eat, because you never know how long they're going to make you sit here and wait. I was going to eat some food and get there perfectly on time. Everything was going to be great. The day was going by wonderful. And yeah, coming through a town over here called Cherokee, Oklahoma. And DOT, well, they met me up at the four-way stop sign. I seen him. He was already pulled over. And there was a white pickup truck. I don't know. He didn't have anybody pulled over. He was just kind of hanging out at the four-way stop. I've seen him there before. He's just over there hanging out at the four-way, and then he sees me coming. I'm slowing down for the stop sign. It's a four-way. The guy on the opposite side of the stop sign, white pickup truck, he is turning in the direction that I need to go, but he has a yield sign. Me knowing that, just how things work out here in Oklahoma, if you're a big truck, it's almost courtesy to sit a little bit longer and let the cars go by, just so they don't have to pass you whenever you get up on the roads and whatnot. So I pull up to the four-way. This pickup truck pulls up. He's got a yield sign. I'm sitting at the stop sign. I've already been sitting at the stop sign for several seconds. And I wave the guy. I'm waving him on. And the DOT guy's seeing it too. He's sitting right there. I'm waving him on. He's not going. I'm like, all right, well, I can't help you. And he's freaked out probably because of the DOT also. He's like, I ain't going. It's your turn to go. I ain't going. Even though I was clearly waving him on. So I went, and then the guy got behind me, and then we're driving down, and I know DOT's back there. They got long radar guns. I'm a big ass truck. He's gonna tell if I'm speeding or whatnot. So I went exactly the speed limit, which is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that, but I was going perfectly the speed limit all the way through, and then you get into Cherokee, and it goes down from 65 down to 55 down to 50 down to 45 down to 30, and then 30 all the way through town, unless the school has got some shit going on. Then they'll have it flashing at 25. But other than that, it's 30. Once you get through downtown area, it opens up to 35 mile an hour, and then it's got some curves. And so I just set my truck. Once I get to that point, I got DOT right fucking behind me. He's right on my ass. I set that cruise control right at 34 mile an hour, and I've come around them corners, and I could have slowed down and probably maybe been a little safer, but I'm not gonna flip the fucking truck at 30, 34 mile an hour. I'm taking them corners, staying in my lane, driving like nothing's bothering me. And I'm pulling up to the truck stop that I was gonna run in. I was gonna take a piss. I was gonna grab a couple of taquitos, and I was gonna hit the fucking road, Jack. But no, right as I put my blinker on, whoop whoop. I'd like to talk to you, sir. Pull on over. So I pull over right there in front with everybody. Everybody can see me. They can see me in my big blue and white tanker getting pulled over. And so I'm kind of a bigger guy. So riding with, and I don't know, am I the only one? Probably not. Some people wear fucking flip flops to be more comfortable. Me, what I do to be comfortable on long runs like I'm doing right now, leave my seatbelt on, unbuckle my belt, unbuckle my pants, and flop it over the seatbelt so my pants ain't falling down. I don't know. And it keeps the seatbelt off of me and my belly, and my belt buckle ain't rubbing a fucking hole on my belly. And it's not so tight because, my pants, they're tight enough, but when you sit down and you're bent for 6 hours on end, just bouncing, and I don't bounce that much. I sit on the I lower all the air out, but you still have movement, obviously. It's uncomfortable for a long amount of time. And if, you got to pee a lot more if you got that belt pulling on your damn bladder and whatnot. So anyways, I unbuckle my shit. He pulls me over. I'm obviously got my belt and shit undone. And so he pulls me over. I pull in there. I try to stop as quickly as possible so I can get my fucking pants on. And I see him in the mirror, so I take off my seatbelt because it's easier without my seatbelt. And I kind of watch him. He's looking at me, and he sees me taking the seatbelt off. I want to make sure he sees me taking my fucking seatbelt off. I don't need to be fucking accused of not wearing a seatbelt. And then as I open up the door because I know he's getting close, and I thought I could get my belt on, and he's like, whoa. I was like, hey, yeah, sorry, fat guy, belt. Just buckling up real quick. Sorry about that. And he's like, okay, not a problem. Just doing a quick roadside check on you. Okay. Flash my headlights and horn and blinkers, and he walks around, kicks all the tires, checks the inspection on the trailer. He wants my book out of here. He wants my logs. I give him everything he needs. He wants my license. I said, hey, I got a new 2-year medical card if you'd like to see it. He's like, no. I'm like, okay. I'm pretty proud of it. You're probably the only person I don't plan on getting pulled over ever. But when I get pulled over, the only people that are interested in my 2-year medical card, it would be somebody like you. You sure you don't want to see it? I'll show it to you. I'm pretty proud of it. Nope, don't need it. All right, fine, motherfucker. He says, all right, I'll be right back. And he goes back, and then he starts walking back up. Probably 15 minutes later, he's been sitting in his truck. Starts walking up and roll the window down. I'm like, hey, what's up? And I was alarmed because he didn't have anything with him. He was just walking up completely by himself. And I gave him a big ass book and paperwork, and I gave him my paperwork for my load and everything. And he's like, hey, your placards are wrong. I'm like, oh, what? Oh shit. He's like, yeah, your paperwork's for a class 9 hazard, and you got it placarded for a class 8. I'm like, oh shit. And the pictures are totally different. This is a really dumb mistake that I made here. Really dumb. But I thought me and this guy were kind of vibing. I thought he was like, oh, this guy, it's nice to see somebody wearing boots. I thought that's something he might be interested in. No. He's like, yeah, hop out and flip all your placards. He's like, I checked everything else. You're great on everything else, but yeah, you got the wrong placards on there, so can't let you go without changing that. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'll change it real quick. Go change it. Thinking that he's going to be like, okay, and then give me all my shit back because he already said like I was good on everything. No, he was writing it up. He wrote me up. I don't know how much a ticket is for that. I didn't get, technically, I didn't get a summons. My company got a summons. But this is, I don't know, this is kind of in that gray area where my company can be like, well, you're a hazmat driver. You have all the knowledge that you need to know how to do this job. That's why we have you hired. And then you do it wrong. Why are we taking the, this is me just playing devil's advocate against myself here. Because I don't know what could happen. But anyways, yep, wrote me up. I took a picture of it, sent it to my boss. He's like, what the hell? What do you mean you got to classify it as a Class 8? It's a Class 9. I'm like, no, you're misreading what the fuck he's got wrote down there. I was like, I had it placarded as a Class 8. He's like, why? I'm like, it was dark when I flipped the placards. I was in a rush because I'm trying to get these loads loaded and out and going on the road. And I just flipped it to the first black and white one, and yeah, it was a mistake, but I totally fucked it up. You know, he's like, oh, I'm like, yeah. So sorry about that. I was like, I don't know how much any of this is gonna cost. I was like, I know something's gonna happen with the company, but I don't know, man. He's like, yeah, that's not good. I'm like, yeah, not good. I was like, I was hoping to, because we get $75 if you get pulled over and you ain't got nothing wrong. You get $75. So I ain't getting $75. That's for fucking sure. I wouldn't be shocked if they're like, we're gonna take $75 out of your check for that, you dumb motherfucker. So, anyways, I'm a big piece of shit. I fucked up, and now I got to figure out how, what this is gonna do and mean. Hopefully that shouldn't affect anything with me, but. I am in the middle of trying to find new employment, and what a better time than right after you fuck over the company. Not fuck over the company. This should be a really small deal. This shouldn't be a big deal at all, but you never know. We had one guy get wrote up for having the phone calls for the health insurance thing are starting to roll in. I'm not liking it. But you know what I am really not liking? Well, I don't know. I don't like getting these phone calls, but I asked for them. Sorry, I'm switching subject completely right now. I just got a phone call. Hello, I'm calling from health insurance enroll for family. I'm like, yeah, I already got it taken care of. And then it was silent for like 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then she just hung up. And I'm like, whoa. All right. And that happened earlier too. Got another call earlier, and the guy was like, yeah, I'm calling for health enrollment. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I already got it taken care of, man. Click. They're not fighting for me. They're not like, yeah, I already got it taken care of. These have got to be some really sad fucking people calling me to try to sell me insurance. The two people that I've talked to, they sounded American, like Southern American is what they sounded like. So you could hear what they were saying. They were understanding what I was saying, and we got something figured out. I think, for what I'm going to use, we got her figured out, So, but anyways, this last lady is really. Hello, I'm calling for health insurance enroll. I'm like, yeah, I already got it taken care of. And if I was going to get it taken care of, it wasn't going to be by you. I don't know why. Not trying to be mean, but I highly doubt. I mean, if you're in the United States, holy shit. That's insane. And then whenever somebody says, "Oh yeah, I'm good," you just hang up on me. Like you're trying to get my money, and you're just going to hang up. Like the other guy, the first guy that called me, I talked to him. I was willing to go through everything with him, and we worked out a deal. And then he wasn't demanding money and payment right then and there. He was just saying that, well, this rate is good for right now, but it could technically be different tomorrow or the day after. He's like, so like I'd like to get you enrolled right now because the way the statistics are going, the payments are only going to go up from here. So if I lock you in at 706, you're locked in. But if we wait a couple of days, it ain't going to work. Maybe. I'm like, oh, okay, well, too bad. You need a fucking couple of days, dude. I ain't fucking giving you money right now. He's like, totally understand, man. And I've been in contact with him on email. The second guy said, oh, I think I can get you a better deal if you're willing to let me talk to you. We can work out a better deal maybe. And did that. And these foreign people calling me are just like, all I got to do is say, yeah, I already got it taken care of. And they're just, bloop. They're not going to, I don't know what I expect them to say, but I guess I kind of appreciate that they're going to not waste my time and just hang up versus us have a fucking language battle back and forth for hours and then me still not for no reason because I already got something figured out. I highly doubt they're going to find anything else for me that's any better. I've had two people look for health insurance now. And obviously one of them works for Aetna and the other one works for somebody else. I don't know. But anyways, enough about the health insurance. I'm pretty worn out about talking about health insurance. I did call my wife to see if there hasn't been any movement on that home loan, so that's kind of unfortunate. But hey, it's going to take some time. Hopefully by tomorrow, I'll know because I'm kind of working on a deadline here. I need to have some things figured out. So, anyways, yeah, the major story today is me getting a fucking ticket, then having to explain it to my boss, and then me having to call up the dump place over here, and I'm like, hey, they're like, hey, they're like, you're here? I was like, no, I'm not here. I'm there. I'm over far fucking away. I'm like, I'm gonna be a half hour behind schedule today. She's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah. Which I'm going to have to get off the phone here in a few minutes and call them. Like 10 minutes, I got to call them. Anyways, I called them up and I said, hey, I know you guys got a sign out front saying loads accepted until 3:30. She's like, yeah, that's wrong. I'm like, why is it up? It's a new sign. This was never there before. Somebody changed it from 2:30, made it 3:30. It's a new sign somebody put up. Why are you still not accepting loads until after not accepting them after 2:30? What the hell? She's like, yeah, it's 2:30. I'm like, well, listen, I just got pulled over and the guy wanted to do a half-hour inspection. They don't need to know. The guy wanted to do a half-hour inspection on me, so now I'm going to be a half-hour fucking behind. She's like, oh, let me call you back. I got to call somebody else to figure out, make sure it's going to be okay. I'm like, okay. Please let me know soon, because if I'm going to a hotel, I need to turn the fuck around. Because I'm just wasting time headed to you. I got to make it to the nearest hotel, which is up in Alva, and I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm going to get paid for the time either way, but it's really good. If you guys are, I have to call you by 2:30 to check in, but you're going to make me sit there till 5. What is if I call you ahead of time and I say, I'm on my way, Can I just check? I can call you at 2:30. I can give you all the information you need. You're gonna make me sit no matter what. Why? What is the difference between me sitting and me driving up there? I'm gonna be there before you guys call me to tell me to come on in. It's gonna happen. And obviously, I wasn't that rude about it. She called me back and she said it'd be fine. But I was like, okay, yeah, thanks. Thank you. I got to be extra apologetic and thankful. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. You're gonna make my day. Say some bullshit like that. Um, but really, yeah, it's like you gotta be here and call us before 2:30, or you can't dump. And it's like, okay, but you're gonna make me sit there till 5 before you let me dump, which is fucking insane. I'm calling you at 2 o'clock, letting you know I'll be there at 3 o'clock. I don't know. Maybe I am the one that's fucked up. I put the wrong placards on. I'm pretty fucking idiotic. Okay, I'm hard on myself. Whenever I make a real mistake like that, I'm really not happy with what I'm doing here, and I'm angry at myself, but I'm like trying to find something else to pin it on. I'm like, fuck this CDL, or not fuck the CDL, fuck this hazmat shit. I'm gonna go haul heavy loads. I'm out of here. That's what I feel like, but I shouldn't. I'm trying to catch myself. I think I'm I think I'm all right. I don't know. And also it's like, all right, well, you wrote me a ticket. It's on this company. I'm about to fucking leave. Is almost where I'm at. And one thing that really bothers me is that I've applied at so many places, and not that those jobs are something that I would actually take. They're just something that I might want to interview for and see, maybe there is something else about the company that I'll find out in an interview that is better. I don't know. So yeah, the main ones are this tanker job, which the guy said, yeah, I think your background check will come back sometime next week. I'm like, okay, well, I know you're kind of waiting on the government shit, but you should, we should, if you want me, you really need to be on it, because I'm not over here. You guys are acting like I'm not going to find something else in between. Like, if I'm not hearing from you often, you're the one that wants me. You're the one that, I'm looking around, I'm picking and choosing, but you're the one that wants to get a driver, right? Why are you not on my ass about things? Because I'm every time one of these companies is asking me to do something, I'm doing it immediately. And while I'm currently working, I'm trying to get all this shit done. So that tanker job, I don't know. It seems like it could have been a good deal, but the guy is really dragging his fucking feet. Same with this trash company. Now that one, it seems like I could definitely get that trash company, but you know, I noticed that the application, the percentage of completion had changed, and I immediately texted the lady that I've been talking to. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, what what's going on? Why did the percentage lower and whatnot? She's like, oh, I sent everything. You've passed everything so far. Just pre-employment checks. Now we need to send you over to the hiring manager over there. And she's like, I sent everything over to him. I'm like, okay, cool. Waiting. I've been waiting half of last week on all this. Like, I don't know. Maybe he is hiring a bunch of people. Maybe there's other people that are more qualified or are willing to, get paid less. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but It's like, hey, I think I'm a good candidate for everybody. You just gotta, and I'm trying to do everything as quickly as possible. Nobody's fucking talking to me, except for this other place, this heavy haul place. And even on the heavy haul place, the, out of all the, I have like 11 jobs that I've applied for, and they all say either applied, application viewed, but the place that I've been talking to the most, it says response unlikely. I'm like, what is that about? Like, I've got messages on the app. We've gone back and forth. It was like right after I applied to it, it said response seems unlikely. I'm like, what? They've been responding more than anybody else. So, anyways, I don't know. I'm kind of excited, but I'm also still scared that if this loan doesn't come through, I don't know, man. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure something else out, or I'll wait for this bonus check to come, and maybe that bonus check is gonna be more than I expected. I don't know. Um, so once that comes around, maybe that will help me make my decision. If the bonus is enough to get rid of enough debt, because that's what me and the wife had already talked about, was we're gonna get the bonus, and most of that bonus is gonna go to pay off a lot of bills to lower our monthly cost. Um, but if we get this loan, then that bonus is going to actually be a bonus. Maybe we can put it aside and hold on to it, or use it now. But then, whenever the loan comes, we can put even a lot more money off to the side. I don't know, man. It's funny how money works. It's kind of funny how money works. Anyways, I'm gonna hop off here. I gotta make a phone call, so I'll try. I'll be back probably later today, maybe even tomorrow morning. I'm not sure if I'm gonna want to. I don't know, but I did. Oh, I did just get off of a podcast. I just did a podcast with Stevie V and Jason Ralph over there, the Canadian fella and the Casper Wyoming guy. Just got off a podcast with them earlier today. That's what I recorded. We made it work. We got the triplet or the threesome. We got the bukkake pod done. And I'm kind of curious how it's going to sound, because it was kind of weird how we had to do it. Neither one of them have international calling. I don't even know if I do, but I just said, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and call Canada and Wyoming and do a three-way call. So if any bills are accrued, I guess they'd go to me, which I don't know. I'm always complaining about money. This is probably not a good thing if I'm going to get, because Jason was saying he had a $50 bill. He had a $50 phone bill for calling me one of those times, our first podcast. So, anyways, but I'm curious on how the audio is going to be, because obviously me listening to me sounded fine, but I could hear an echo. There was probably a 2-second delay on everything I said, so I was talking over people the whole fucking time. But all in all, I think it went pretty well. I think it's going to be one that you're not going to want to miss. I had no way to record it. Usually I can record phone calls, but apparently three-way phone calls I am not allowed to record. So, or else I would have had it too, and I guess we all three would have put up the same podcast. But I don't know, something's weird about that. But anyway, Stevie V is going to put his up. I think it was mainly Stevie V's deal. And then Jason said he recorded it also. He's going to throw it up as a bonus episode one of these days. So, pretty interesting. And that's all I got for you right now. I'll be back a little bit later. And we're back for the morning here. It's Tuesday morning. Hell yeah. We're on the road. We're making good time. Today, my only what I need to do today is just to drive over here to this power plant, which is, I don't know, like 3.5 hours away from where I am. Go over there, load up some of this water fucking shit, and then turn around and drive all the way back and hit up my normal Holiday Inn. Hey, you remember I don't know, probably 10 episodes back. It was a while back. But I was talking about how I go to this town in Oklahoma all the damn time. And nobody remembers me. It's like I'm a fucking ghost in that fucking place. But I'm there all the fucking time, but they're like, I'm not a regular because nobody recognizes me. Guess what? My Holiday Inn, that guy recognizes me now. As long as that manager is still working today, things are going to go great. Because he makes cookies, okay? Some of them managers, they ain't got them cookies sitting out. Or they make them way too fucking early. And then you show up and there's like one cookie left and it's a snickerdoodle. And it's like, I like snickerdoodle cookies. I'm just not, I'd rather eat something else, you know? Hey, give me a better cookie, bud. Anyways, this guy, he makes cookies late. He's making them at night almost. But he remembers me. And my just my drive today is to get loaded, get over there, and have somebody remember who I am in a place where I am all the fucking time. And you know, I'm gonna be thinking about this guy. If I end up moving on to a different job, I'm gonna be thinking about that guy. Like, I wonder what he's doing with all them cookies. He's probably wondering where I am. He's probably wondering where I was for the last like couple of weeks. Because I ain't been doing this job. But anyways, we're rolling around. Yeah, that guy's really cool because he recognizes my paper. When my paper comes in, he's like, he's coming back today. He's coming back today. And I might jazz up his day. I don't know if he's like, man, I hope that truck driver shows up again. I don't know, probably not. Anyways, yesterday after I got off the podcast, uh, what happened? Well, I got a ticket. You guys heard about that? I looked that up. I don't know how much that's gonna fucking be. It's gonna be. I don't know if I have to pay it. I don't know. My company is probably gonna take care of it, but my company might not take care of it if they realize that I'm taking off. So I don't know. I talked to a couple people and they're like, no, they're not gonna do that to you. I'm like, I don't know. They seem like a really nice, good company, but if they find out I'm leaving, and especially if I don't fill out my full 2 weeks, they might send that. They know where I live. They'll send that bill right on over. That could be bad. I don't know. I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're that mean. And that wouldn't be my boss. It would be more like the billing department. But anyways, we're having a good day so far. Woke up on time, had a really nice sleep. I stopped off at a truck stop to right after I got offloaded yesterday. I stopped off at the nearest truck stop, which is like, I don't know, 20 miles down the road, and walked in there, and I said, I'm hungry. She said, we got food. We got hot food here. You want some? I said, yeah, I do. And I grabbed some of that stuff. Anyways, I grabbed a double cheeseburger from her. And she's like, do you want any toppings on it? I said, what? She's like, do you want any toppings on it? I said, I didn't know you guys had toppings because I had just stopped at this truck stop the other day and grabbed a cheeseburger. And I was like, oh, can I get some like ketchup or something? And they don't have ketchup just laying out like some other truck stops. He's like, you can have 3 ketchup packets. I was like, damn, this place is stingy as fuck. But it was like a better foil wrapped double cheeseburger from a gas station than a different gas station. It was a better burger. So I was like, I'll go ahead and go in there. Anyways, I grab it, or she grabs it, because you're not allowed to touch the food until you pay for it or whatever. I don't know. And I'm like, you want some toppings? I said, what do you got? We got lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion, jalapeno, ketchup, mustard, mayo. And I said, yeah. She's like, which ones? I was like, all of them. She's like, all of them? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I didn't know you guys had toppings back there. I didn't know you guys did that. I was like, I came in the other day and I had to strong arm the guy for 3 packs of ketchup. She's like, oh, no, we have toppings back here. I'm like, okay, yeah, put them all on there. I don't know which one. I don't want to pick and choose. I just want them all. Put them all on there. This nice lady went back there and filled up this burger. She came back, this burger, the foil couldn't close. I said, you know how to do it right. I am so excited for this burger now. I wasn't excited for it, but I was like, another burger. Can I get some ketchup packets? Can I get 4 of them, please? Not that I need all 4 for the burger, but I got some other stuff that I might dip in. Oh, what am I doing? 65. This trucker's probably like, you motherfucker, why are you passing me in the construction zone? I didn't realize it was a construction zone. I'm so sorry, but I'm not cutting you off or anything. I'm way the fuck ahead of you. So I grabbed that burger. It was a pretty damn good burger, not gonna lie. I don't know what it is about lettuce. Lettuce really does make a difference on some sandwiches sometimes. Lettuce on a hamburger mixed with the ketchup and the mustard and the pickle juice, and this one had jalapenos, and I don't know, something about it. Something about it. Um. Anyways, I got off I finished that food, and then I kept on rolling, and rolled up into Wichita, and but before I got there, I ended up talking to my buddy Lucas, and guess what? Him and his beautiful bride done got hitched. They got hitched. They went down to Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And they had a wonderful time, from what I heard. Which, me and my wife, we also went down to Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And we stayed in a cabin. And I don't remember. There's something in the fucking air down there. I don't know. Because he said he was having trouble remembering all the stuff that he did. And I'm like, I also have problems remembering what we did. But I know we went down to Eureka Springs. We said, this is a fucking awesome place. We loved it. It was amazing. Now, all the way up until like the very end. So the very end of our trip, we ordered massages to come to the cabin that we were in, out in the middle of the woods. We had a clear shot right off of our balcony to the lake. It was awesome. But anyways, we ordered massages. His and hers massages. Two old ladies showed up and set up tables and massaged us. And I loved it. I felt like a brand new man. They did something to my wife and fucked her up. She was fucked up for like 2 months afterwards. So she was in pain. Like the whole car ride back, 2 months later, she's still complaining about it. So they fucked up her back or something. But I'm like, I don't know. It was a regular massage. I don't. They did something. So I feel so bad for my wife there, but and that was like kind of our honeymoon deal. We didn't really have a real honeymoon, so it was like that was like a year or two after we got married. We went and did that, and it was a good time. But yeah, I guess our well, we didn't have a honeymoon, but whenever we got engaged, we went out to Colorado. We got engaged in Garden of the Gods. I was gonna do it on the top of Pikes Peak, but I couldn't breathe, guys. I couldn't fucking breathe. I was getting lightheaded. I said, "We gotta go. We gotta go. I'm fucking about to pass the fuck out." And people are walking up to me. They're like, "Here, try some of my oxygen." I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm a man. I don't need your fucking oxygen. I needed oxygen." So I said, "Let's get on the fucking cog and get this motherfucker rolling." I was standing next to the cog, and he's like, "Oh, the what?" I'm like, "Hey, can you fucking go around and start yanking on people? We need to get off this fucking mountain. I'm dying right now, and I don't want to pay $25 for fucking an oxygen thing. Let's get off this fucking mountain." I was gonna propose to my wife on this mountain, and now I'm not because I'm about to fucking pass out and fall off the side. There's no railings. On the top of Pikes Peak, there are no railings, y'all. I think there's a handrail at the store that's outside where people used to hitch up horses or some shit. I don't fucking know. I was about to fall off the. She's like, "Hey, come over here. Let's take a picture next to the sign." And I'm like, I'm gonna fall off this fucking thing. I'm gonna fall off. I'm gonna die up here. This is my last stand up here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and head on out. She's like, "No." I'm like, "All right, well, let's get on the fucking cog." We took the cog train. Rickety motherfucker, but hey, it was cool, but it was rickety as fuck. And that motherfucker, I sat on the uphill seat the whole fucking time. I had to hold my body up into my seat. My wife is just sitting there, like basically in a reclined position, just hanging out. And I'm like, "I wish I was sitting on your side." She's like, "Yeah, well, I can't sit up there. My legs aren't long enough to hold myself into the seat." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we need the cog to hurry the fuck up and get down. I'm blowing out of oxygen. I'm low on oxygen. My O2 is down. Legally dead right now." Why are you going 10 under? Why are you going 10 under? Lordy have mercy. I'm about to pass this minivan also. We're headed into the Flint Hills. Welcome back to the Flint Hills. Ah, well, we're not quite to the Flint Hills yet. We're getting there. So, anyways, I wanted to extend my congratulations to Nick and Luke and Nick, uh, what, Lick and Nuke. Sorry, I fucked it all up. I usually say it wrong to begin with, but I love to call them Lick and Nuke. I don't know why. I think it's cool. It's like Lick and Nuke. It's just perfect. I think it's perfect. I think it's fucking awesome. I would make shirts saying I'm Lick and he's Nuke, but it's Nick and Luke, Luke and Nick, Lick and Nuke, Lick and Nuke. Anyways, they got married. What a beautiful place. They got into this big old church and everything. And I watched the Facebook Live last night, laying in bed in my underwear. I also had Saw the Fourth on. I don't know. The Saw was on in the background. But I'm laying there in my underwear watching this marriage proceed on, and it was awesome. I thought it was cool. They got it buried in this glass church up in the mountains. It's all glass and frame. It's pretty cool. So you got a good view everywhere you look. There's a good view, and there at the end, I thought it was kind of. They had a Facebook Live set up with somebody's phone, and there after they got married, they hug and they kiss or whatever, and then they start walking away, and then they give thumbs up or they show off their rings to the camera, and I thought that was cute. And then the pastor in the background, I saw somebody hiding, and then I see the pastor, he just hides behind a pole, and I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, how long is he? I sat there, I'm like, I wonder how long he's gonna fucking hide behind that pole there. And I was watching and I was watching, and then you could see him peek his head around the corner. I'm like, this motherfucker's hiding. I'm like, what? How long are you gonna stand back there, bud? What are you hiding from? Why are you hiding, pastor, ordained minister? I think that was perfect. Luke had asked, he's like, I want you to get online and become an ordained minister and marry me. I'm like, brother, I can't do that. What are you talking about? What? I'm not. No. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know. I think they did it right. They did it. They got some old gray guy to do it. If I go up there, oh God, oh Lordy, that's gonna be one hell of a wedding. But I don't know. It would probably. I don't know. I feel like if I'm the one ordaining the ministry, marriage guy, I don't know. I'm going to write something wrong down on the paperwork, and then years later, they're going to be trying to, I don't know, have a kid or something. They're like, yeah, you guys are actually married. And they're like, what? And they're like, yeah, some fucking idiot that married you wrote the wrong number down or date or what, I don't know, something. I'm like, oh, fuck. And then Nuke is going to show up, and he's going to go off. He's like, what the hell? We married 8 years ago, and now we ain't married. I'm like, sorry, I fucked it up. You shouldn't have had me do it. I don't know what I'm doing, man. Anyway, it would have been cool, but I don't know. I'm glad they did it the way they did it. That was way better. Plus, I'm busy today. I was busy that day. What's going on here? Where the fuck am I? Exit 71. Um. Anyways, that was awesome. I finally got around to watching their dang wedding. I had been dealing with a lot of stuff. My head has been pounded with just trying to keep track of applications, jobs, insurance, other shit, and then I don't know. This was after everything, but now I got this other thing in my mind that happened. I wish it didn't happen. I wish the guy would have been like, hey, you got the wrong placards on, you silly goose. And I'd be like, oh, thanks, man. I'm so sorry. Flip him, and he's like, have a good day. Just checking on you. We're friendly out here in Oklahoma. We're willing to give you a second chance. No. He's like, I've never seen you before. You clearly have a very good driving record. Let's go ahead and add something to it, just so it's not so bare. I don't know. This is fucking bullshit. Like, if I get a ticket for something that's like a real emergency, like a real violation, something that could potentially be severely dangerous, and they give me a ticket, I'm willing to accept it. But I feel like I've been wronged. I feel like every time I've gotten a ticket, the officer could have, given a little bit of leniency. I don't get fucking leniency. I don't even know if I mentioned my Chevy Cruze. Well, I think I did. I talked about it. Whenever I had a license plate up in the windshield, and I got wrote up for having a improperly placed license plate, and it ended up being like over double the cost of just not having a license plate at all. I'm like, this is fucked. Um. Anyways, I don't know. I'm looking for a grand reset, and I think we're on our way there. If this equity loan comes through, if this job comes through, it's gonna reset everything. Everything's gonna be good and reset, and it's gonna be a totally different life, day to day at least. And I'd be home every night most of the time. With this new job, there will be overnight stays here and there, and I'm like, hey, I don't mind it here and there, don't mind it. But he's not gonna send me out for fucking weeks on end. There's no way. Weekend work, might have to go pick up a piece of equipment, and that's just gonna help me get a load, more loads done the next week or something, or maybe drop something off on the weekend, and then I get, add that to my paycheck. Anyways, I went back to the hotel last night. I got to the hotel, Wichita, parked up the truck, and went inside. I saw a bunch of workers show up, so I was like, oh, fuck. Because I was sitting in the truck. I was like, I just want to sit still for a little bit. I'm just sitting in my truck, just in the parking lot, just hanging out. Not in a rush for anything. I made it to my hotel. I already clocked out. Everything's good. But, yeah, I'm sitting there, and then a bunch of fucking workers show up, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I better get in there. Because, like, when I walk in there, it's a 2-minute process of, like, here's my ID, here's my card, there's my room, sign the paper, I'm off. In less than a minute, probably. You get a group of workers showing up, they're like, hey, I got this, I don't know. It's a long fucking process. If you got 6 people you got to wait on, and there's one lady, it's a long process. So I went in there. But then I made a horrible mistake. And it wasn't a horrible mistake, but I walk in there, I get checked in, I grab my card, and then I'm like, ooh. Because I ate a burger, but that was like 2.5 hours earlier. I said, I think I'm gonna want something to eat up in the room. So I go into their little food area, desolate. I'm like, who the hell's stocking this shit? There ain't nothing in here. I grabbed me a thing of ramen. I ain't never had ramen in a hotel before, but I also ain't never had ramen that didn't come in them square little bags or whatever. I grabbed a big bowl thing. It was a noodle thing. I don't know. I grabbed that and some cheddar Takis because they didn't. I don't know. I was looking for something that was gonna be more Espanol, I guess. I don't know. And Takis was about the only chip that would go with. I don't know. I don't know. The noodles are Chinese. I don't know. Japanese, Chinese. I don't know. The ramens. And I grabbed me a Dr. Pepper. Went up into the room. Not bad. Now I'm thinking about ordering some of that shit. Because they got all kinds of good noodles and stuff out there that aren't just like the generic Maruchan, or what is the other brand? Maruchan noodles. regular old ramen. This comes with its own little bowl. You just put a little water in there, throw it in the microwave for 5 minutes, and then boom, it's done. Oh, but you know what? One thing I need to write down a thing for Holiday Inn. Hey, can you guys put like a fork or something in the goddamn room? Like that was fucking. I ended up using coffee stirrers to eat my noodles because there was nothing. I was already in my underwear. I just got done watching a wedding. I wasn't about to throw on my pants to go down into the kitchen that's locked and try to gotta ask somebody, hey, can I get in there? I need a fork for this fucking noodles. I didn't think about it, I either need to talk to Holiday Inn and have them add a little thing of forks or whatever to the fucking room, or I need to call up this ramen company and say, hey, listen, you put a sauce packet in there. How about you put a fucking fork or something in there too? I ended up using coffee stirrers, which don't really work with hot fucking liquid and noodles, I'm trying to use coffee stirrers. I end up using my fucking hand and wiping it on the sheets while I watch Saw. I woke up, the same TV channel that was playing Saw ended up playing, I don't know, some fucking cartoon shit. This morning when I woke up, the TV was blaring some fucking cartoon shit, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I started getting into the show. I'm like, what the hell? I also saw another movie on last night. It had Russell Brand in it. And I need to bring Russell Brand onto the podcast. I need to talk to him. Hey man, why the fuck did you do that weird fucking movie? That was pretty gay. I know you're cool with the gays, but that was a horrible movie. Why did you do that? What kind of contract? You get paid good money to do that? Holy moly, I don't know what movie it was. Look for Russell Brand up on IMDb and find his worst movie. That's it. That's the one. I don't know what the hell was going on with that. But I watched part of it, and then then I switched over to Saw. I found Saw. I was like, all right, I'll watch Saw. It's on Sci-Fi. They say FX has the movies. Saw or Sci-Fi has the movies too. Sci-Fi's always got some movies on. I watched Fast and Furious on Sci-Fi the other day. What the hell? Sci-Fi's like, we'd like to change our name to just like we play movies and stuff, but we're stuck with the Sci-Fi name for like another couple years or some shit. I don't know. And yeah, getting ready to put these fucking sunglasses on. I can see the sun coming up over the horizon. Out here in the Flint Hills, you'll get one of the best sunrises you could ever get. There's cows, a field, fucking cell phone towers, and like there are so little amount of trees out here. Like there are almost no goddamn trees. But did you know that there's like ground nesting birds that they require no trees? Thought it was interesting. But yeah, they're out there, and it makes sense. These ground nesting birds, they're birds that want to live in the ground, and they don't want to live near, power lines or trees or bridges where a hawk can just sit there, or even fence posts. They don't want to. They don't want to live near that stuff because a hawk can just sit there and just look, and he can see them, and he can be like, ah, ah, and find out about eating them. They don't want to get eaten. So the Flint Hills is a great place for some of these animals to live out here. I don't know if they even cut the grass out here. I think it's just rolling hills. I think the cows take care of most of it. I don't think cows are going to eat the birds that are in the ground. But Uh, Hawks, I don't know if hawks sound like that, but I would imagine, if I was a ground nesting bird and I heard that noise I just did, I'd probably freak the fuck out. Probably pretty freaked out. Oh, buddies. I'll try to be on. I'll try to do another one later. Keep all 18 down. Adios. Bye bye.